Good morning, esteemed listeners of Hot Topic and Fresh News. Today, the 4th of April, 2024, and we dive straight into the pressing news of the day. We begin with a devastating report out of Taiwan, where a 7.4 magnitude earthquake has left more than 600 people stranded, 42 missing, and over 1,000 injured in Hualien County. The death toll currently stands at 9. Rescue efforts are underway, with 64 individuals evacuated from the Heping Quarry and 6 workers airlifted from a precarious outcrop. The earthquake has also left a lasting impact on Hualien's infrastructure, with 92 damaged buildings, over 200 residents in shelters, and nearly 10,000 households without water. Aftershocks continue to rattle the region with over 40 tremors of magnitude 4 or higher, including a 6.4 magnitude tremor. Taiwanese officials warn that these aftershocks could continue until the end of the week. A number of Hualien residents are spending their nights outside in fear of more damage from aftershocks. The cleanup operation is extensive, with teams working around the clock to clear debris and assess structural damage to buildings. Some residents have described their homes as unrecognizable, with large crevices appearing and chunks of walls falling off. The mayor of Hualien confirmed that children in the city are taught from a young age how to stay safe during earthquakes. Rescue operations continue to focus on those stranded in the mountainous regions and the workers trapped on the edge of a steep cliff at a damaged quarry. This earthquake is yet another reminder of Taiwan's precarious position on the Pacific Ring of Fire, having experienced 7 major earthquakes over the past 50 years. As this situation unfolds, we will keep you updated with the latest developments. Stay tuned to Hot Topic and Fresh News. Hello, folks. This is your host, Emily, here on the Hot Topic and Fresh News, bringing you the daily scoop on all the pressing news. With me today, as always, we have the astute and insightful David, who's always ready to share his sharp analysis on the day's happenings. David, great to have you on board today.
Thanks, Emily. It's always a pleasure to join our listeners on Hot Topic and Fresh News.
That's right, folks. We're here every day, keeping you informed and up to speed with current events. If you find our content useful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, turn on those notifications, and leave your comments. We value your feedback, and sharing our podcast with your friends and family is the best way to support us. Today, we've got a news piece that has left us both shaken. The recent earthquake in Taiwan, a story that will move you, shock you, and remind us all of the sheer power of nature. It's a news piece that underscores the resilience of the human spirit in times of adversity and brings to light the importance of preparedness and safety measures in regions prone to such natural disasters.
Absolutely, Emily. It's a significant event with far-reaching implications, not just for Taiwan, but for disaster management worldwide.
So, folks, stay tuned for more on this. You won't believe the grit and determination of the people affected by this disaster. Remember, you're hearing it first, hot off the press, on Hot Topic and Fresh News.
This is certainly a major event. Can you share more about the rescue efforts in the aftermath of this quake?
Absolutely. Rescue teams are working tirelessly, trying to reach over 600 individuals who are stranded in eastern Taiwan. Remarkably, despite the magnitude of this earthquake, the highest to hit the island in decades, the death toll remains relatively low, currently at 9. More than 1,000 people have been injured.
Where are the rescue efforts primarily focused?
The key focus areas are the Heping Quarry and a second quarry in Hualien. All 64 people stranded at the Heping Quarry have been successfully evacuated, while at the second quarry, 1 person was unfortunately killed by rockfall, but 6 other workers have safely been rescued.
What's the situation in the city of Hualien?
The local government has reported significant infrastructural damage. There are 92 damaged buildings, over 200 people are in shelters, nearly 10,000 households are without water, and more than 300 households are without electricity.
And what about the aftershocks? Could they exacerbate the situation?
Indeed, aftershocks are a major concern. Over 40 tremors of magnitude 4 or higher have struck near Taiwan's east coast, including one of magnitude 6.4. Taiwanese officials have warned these could continue until the end of the week. Given the current situation, what's your take on how Taiwan is handling this crisis?
It's clear that despite the tragedy, the response has been swift and coordinated. The low death toll in light of such a massive quake speaks to the preparedness of Taiwan's disaster response teams. However, the ongoing aftershocks do present an escalating challenge. The situation remains fluid, and it's crucial to continue monitoring closely. Can you give us an insight into the emotional impact this disaster is having on the residents of Hualien?
Absolutely, the trauma is palpable. One liquor store owner told CNN that their entire life's work had vanished. The mayor of Hualien stated that the damage was primarily confined to buildings that partially collapsed. In some cases, the only option is to demolish and rebuild.
What about the aftershocks? Are they still posing a significant threat?
Indeed, the aftershocks remain a major concern. More than 40 tremors of magnitude 4 or higher have struck near the island's east coast.
It seems the residents are also concerned about the aftershocks. How are they coping?
The anxiety levels are high. One 81-year-old resident, Wang Chu Xiazhen, said she registered to stay at an emergency shelter because she couldn't sleep at home. Despite taking 3 sleeping pills, she was unable to sleep due to the fear of being alone.
How does this earthquake compare to previous ones that Taiwan has experienced?
This is the strongest earthquake to hit Taiwan since 1999. During that year, a 7.7 magnitude quake hit south of the capital Taipei, killing 2,400 people and injuring 10,000 others. However, the damage from Wednesday's quake is far lower.
What's the outlook for the residents of Taiwan, particularly those in Hualien, moving forward?
The residents closer to the epicenter face a lengthy cleanup. Workers are busy clearing debris and assessing buildings for structural damage. It's a long road to recovery, but the spirit of the Taiwanese people has always proven to be resilient.
Can you share more about the personal experiences of those affected by the earthquake?
Absolutely. One resident, 63-year-old Deng Huimei, described his house as a mess following the quake. He was putting groceries away when the intense shaking began. He had to hold on to things to stay steady, fearing he would be knocked down.
How did he react to the quake?
Exhibiting his resilience, Deng grabbed a bicycle helmet and sturdy shoes to protect himself from broken glass and debris before leaving his house. He even thought of helping others outside.
What's the situation with the buildings in Hualien?
Hualien Mayor Wei Jiayan stated that the damage is mainly confined to buildings that partially collapsed. Some, he said, are so hazardous they can only be demolished and rebuilt.
How is the city planning to cope with the continuing aftershocks?
Aftershocks are indeed a significant concern. More than 40 of magnitude 4 or higher have struck near Taiwan's east coast. Taiwanese officials warned aftershocks could continue until the end of the week.
I can't help but reflect on the strength and resilience of the people of Taiwan. What are your thoughts?
I couldn't agree more. The resilience and preparedness of the Taiwanese people are truly impressive. They've been taught from a young age how to react to earthquakes, which is evident in their swift response and recovery efforts. Despite the destruction, they remain steadfast and committed to rebuilding their communities. Given the magnitude of the earthquake and the series of aftershocks, what do you make of the overall response?
The response has been commendable from both the disaster management teams and the residents. What strikes me the most is the level of preparedness and resilience of the Taiwanese people. In the face of such adversity, they've shown great strength and resourcefulness, which is truly inspirational. What's the situation with those trapped following the earthquake in Taiwan?
50 hotel employees in Hualien County who were traveling to work were trapped when the quake hit. 3 of them managed to make it to the Silks Place Hotel in Taroko Gorge and reported that the rest were safe.
What about the trapped hotel staff in the road tunnel in the gorge?
Some of the trapped hotel staff were spotted in a road tunnel in the gorge with visible damage to their van. Rescue teams are waiting for roads to be cleared to enter the tunnel, where 20 more tourists are also stranded.
What's the latest on the rescue efforts?
The efforts are primarily focused on more than 60 people stranded in a quarry in Hualien and reaching those cut off in surrounding mountain gorges. One person was killed by rockfall in a second quarry, though 6 other workers were rescued.
How severe is the damage to Taiwan?
Although the earthquake was large, the death toll remains relatively low and damage seems limited. As of now, there are 9 confirmed deaths, 1,050 injured, and 46 missing or uncontactable.
What's the emotional state of the survivors based on the reports?
It's a state of shock and loss. One survivor said, "All my life's work has vanished." The devastation is immense, but the spirit of the Taiwanese people and their resolve to overcome this tragedy is evident.
What's the current state of aftershocks in Taiwan?
Aftershocks continue to rattle the region, a day after the powerful 7.4 magnitude quake struck. The region is home to about 300,000 people, a third of whom live in Hualien, the worst affected city.
Can you share more about the local residents' experiences?
Absolutely. One resident, Hong Changyi, lost his liquor store in the quake. He said all his goods were destroyed and that all of his life's work has vanished. However, he remains grateful that people are safe.
What's the extent of the destruction?
The full extent is still being assessed, with road and some rail closures affecting access to Hualien. However, videos and images show collapsed buildings and significant damage to the Suhua Highway that connects Hualien with the north of Taiwan.
How does this earthquake compare to previous ones in Taiwan's seismic history?
This earthquake is the strongest to hit Taiwan in 25 years. Over the past 50 years, the island has experienced a total of 7 major earthquakes. It's worth noting that Taiwan sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, which makes it prone to quakes. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks for joining us today on Hot Topic and Fresh News. We delved into the major earthquake that recently struck Taiwan. Your support and engagement mean more to us than you can imagine. Remember to subscribe and activate notifications. Share our channel with your networks. If you found our discussion insightful, let us know by dropping a comment.
What's life without a little humor? We're on air every day, so keep us on your radar. We keep the news interesting while also adding a dash of fun. So keep your calendar marked, folks.
And we're just as excited for the next episode as you are. But for now, we bid you goodbye.
And remember, stay in the loop, keep your eyes on the news. Our channel's content will amuse.